Today I'm going to be sharing with you what I pack when I'm traveling overseas for my diabetic supplies. This is something that can be very intimidating if you've never gone overseas before and you've recently been diagnosed with diabetes, or you've had type 1 diabetes your whole life but yet you've never traveled overseas, and it sometimes can feel scary, especially if you're in a country that isn't primarily speaking the same language as you. For me, that would be English. So I know when I was traveling over to Italy, I was slightly panicked and everything was pretty much okay except for the time that I left my insulin in the mini fridge of one of our hotels, and then we went to Switzerland. And I only had 2 pins left that I held on to for dear life because I couldn't get the other insulin back. But I definitely try to be really prepared and always include the group that I'm with or the person that I'm with to have them help me remember never to leave any supplies and or insulin behind. So today I thought we could go over my supply list that I'm bringing with me on this trip. I'm going to keep my insulin pump on. I'm using the Tandem T-Slim X2. Looks like this and I love it. I don't use Control IQ. Just gonna go ahead and put that out there. But anyway, I do have on my Dexcom, and for that we'll start with, I'm going to be bringing 2 extra Dexcom sensors. I'm changing one out the day of my flight. I luckily have planned it out that way so it will expire the morning before. I'll put a new sensor on, keep my fingers crossed that it's working okay, and then I will have that for 10 days, and I should only have to make 1 change, but in case I will bring it back up because you never know. Along with my Dexcom, I'm going to be bringing these extra adhesive patches. To be honest, I do not like these. I know they're free, so that's why I have them, but I would prefer different ones. So bringing 4 of them, and I probably won't need them, but sometimes you can like cut and help your pump stick on. It's not the best, but when you're in a pinch, it could be helpful. So I'm gonna pack those with the Dexcom, bringing my glucose meter. This is what I use to prick my finger. Whoopsie. I recently got a new one. This is the Contour Next. It was very expensive and I kind of regret paying for it. But anyway, I got one of these and it comes with the Contour Next test strips. So I will bring this as backup just in case my Dexcom doesn't last. I've probably got about 20 strips left. So I'm going to be bringing an extra pod for my things, and I'll probably put that in a different case because I usually keep this in my handbag with me at all times. So I will bring that, and that is for my glucose control. Along with my glucose meter, I'm going to pack some alcohol swabs to wipe my fingers with in case you're out and about and you're dirty. I feel like alcohol swabs do a better job than hand sanitizer. Maybe that's just me, but I like to, you know, really get it clean. So I'm gonna pack those as well. So the bag that I like to keep in my purse at all times, this is a little bit larger than usual, but again, being on a travel trip, I kind of like to be extra prepared. To pack some honey packets. They're just like organic Skittles, basically. A couple of those things. You know, it's like a pouch in a pouch, but whatever. 4, 6. I have 6 here. I definitely should have more, but that's all I have for right now. I'll probably get some more before I head out. And that's that pouch. So I'm going to keep that. Oh, you know what? No, that's it. That's all I'm going to carry in there for now. This was one of my old things and it has so many needles in it. And some leftover Traceba. My dog's dog tags? What the heck? Lip balm. Oh, thank you. Amazing. I'm gonna pack this. It's good. Since I change my pump out anywhere from every 3 days, occasionally I can only go 2 days, I definitely am gonna need to bring quite a few site changes. I should probably map this out in my head. Give me a second. As mentioned before, I'm on the T-Slim X2 pump, and with this, my supplies comes in boxes like this. These are the 3 milliliter cartridges. That's what I personally use. I change my pump out every 2 to 3 days, and occasionally I have failed sites in the sense that it will pull off sooner than it needs to, or occasionally I will have a poor insertion and I need to move it to a different place. So one thing that doesn't include failed sites that I'm not worried about having as many backup for is the needles that fill the cartridges, and they look like this. I don't know why they started packaging them separately, but my last order, that's what they've been doing. The needle is here and the syringe is over here. They used to be all in one. I don't know why they do this, but either way, now I have extra little plastics to pack, which is not good for our environment either, but oh well. I'm going to be bringing enough of these for my site changes, and I'm not bringing any extra. So these don't ever really fail me, and if I had to, I technically could even use the same needle like probably 2 or 3 times if I needed to. So I'm going to bring just what I need for that. I use the True Steel infusion set, which has the steel cannula and then an extra attached bit to it. And I'm going to show you what mine looks like right now so you can see that while I do like them, it's not a, you know, fix-all. All of them look like this. They come in individual packets. I'm filming right here. They come in individual packets like this. Because of this situation right here that tends to happen when your tubing gets caught on something, it's pretty much falling off. I tried to attach this extra adhesive sticker thing. It's not working. This is where this used to be. This ripped off the same day I put it in, and if you know the struggle, you know it's just a pain in the butt to have to change it out again, and it is working fine. So I just did this for extra protection. I am going to be bringing extra sites for that reason. Sterling is like laying right next to me and he's getting into my supplies. I'm gonna just bring a whole box with me just to be safe, and I don't want to run out of extras because that would be the worst thing. Now granted, I will definitely try and make my sites last up to 3 days, but we'll see. So here we go, 1 box of that. Got this. Sterling, you're not coming on a trip. No, you're not. Organized. Oh, another thing I'm going to be packing with my pump supplies are these IV prep pads. This just gives me that extra sticky, tacky, icky stuff that helps my pump stay in place so that it doesn't rip off or start peeling off earlier than it needs to. And I'm also going to bring some extra alcohol swabs for that as well. Stop it. I don't think I'm going to bring an extra insulin pen for my Humalog. I will just bring the vials that I have. This is a silicone case. Sterling, stop. This is a silicone case, and my insulin is currently in the fridge, so I'm not going to bring it out, but I will have an insulin vial. No, I will have 2 insulin vials with me. No. I will have 2 insulin vials with me. And for the Humalog backup, I am going to be bringing 1 bag of the insulin syringes. They look like that. You get out of my stuff. And I'm going to try and get a extra long-acting insulin pen from my provider, if possible, to have as backup as well. I am pretty confident in my insulin pump working just fine, but sometimes it's smart to bring a backup pen, so I will do that as well. Should probably bring some insulin caps, needle caps, so I will bring just enough to use if my pump fails, because most likely I'm not going to need these at all, but I will bring enough for 1 of each day. I am bringing some extra lancets. I use the same lancet for a long time. It's kind of, I think, a common thing that diabetics do. After you've had it for so many years, you just stop changing out that lancet as much. When it comes to glucose meters, because I have my Dexcom, I'm not going to bring 2 glucose meters. However, in the past, when I was pricking my finger and I didn't have a continuous glucose monitor, I would always bring a backup meter. And that, I think, is a personal preference, but it's something that definitely comes in handy, especially if you're traveling to a place that has a lot of temperature, like extreme temperatures, whether that's very cold or very hot, it can affect your readings. And just for a little and just to share an experience, I have personally been at the beach before and I had my glucose meter out in the sun and it got very hot and started giving me false readings. So definitely be careful and follow those temperature guidelines that you can find on your glucose strips. Yes, Russell? Russ has joined the party. My Dexcom, extra adhesive patches, insulin vial, which I'll have 2 of those, syringes if I need to use long-acting insulin, glucose monitor, and extra low snacks that I will be placing into my purse, pump supplies, alcohol prep pads, IV prep, which is just that adhesive tacky stuff, and then my TrueSteel cannulas. And this is my syringes with my needles. Sterling saw me pack this backpack and now he thinks I'm leaving. Well, I am, but not yet. Silly little guy. I've just packed up my backpack and I filmed the packing process on my Instagram if you want to go see that. But everything's put in here and I still have other stuff to fill this backpack with. But I did want to share a quick tip, which is hopefully you're not watching this a couple days before you leave, because I think a big tip would be make sure that you pack your medical supplies at least a week, if not just 5 days before you're leaving, so that if you have any prescriptions you need to refill or you need to talk with your doctor about something, it's really important that you are prepared in advance to be able to fill that and get yourself ready to go before you head out of town. It is important to take into consideration the climate of where you're going, whether you're going to be in warmer or cooler temperatures can give you that indication whether you're going to need to bring a thermal pack or a cooler to keep your insulin chilled or warm from the elements. And stuff like that can just impact obviously how you're going to pack for things. But for me, it's going to be chilly but relatively on the warmer side, and I think my insulin will be fine. Also, just trying to remind myself and those that I'm going to be traveling with for me not to forget my insulin if I choose to store it in a refrigerator, which I most likely will when working with vials. That is what they recommend. I'm not really sure what the difference is, because you can have an insulin pin out for 30 days and it's totally fine, but then they tell you with a vial you can't. Does that not make sense to me? I don't know. I'm gonna tell you something else. Oh, thing I learned that I wish I would have known sooner is that when you are traveling on a airline, I'm almost positive all airlines will allow this, but if you say that you have a medical supplies bag that you need to keep with you, you are guaranteed that you are going to be able to keep that bag with you at all times. Whereas I know some flights will say, oh, you get a free carry-on, and then once you get up to board, they're like, oh, we don't have any more room left, sorry. Well, if you say, this is a medical supplies bag, it's something I have to keep with me at all times, they should make a way for you to have that, because I would not recommend checking luggage that carries your medical supplies, because I have had my luggage delayed or lost, and you definitely don't want to be without your supplies. So make sure that you stand up for yourself. It is your right to have your medical supplies with you at all times. It is a lifeline for us. It is not simply just a bag of Advil. These are supplies that we need to survive on a daily basis. So it's really important that you keep them with you, and there should be no charge. From my understanding, I would look into your airline that you're traveling with, but most likely it won't be a problem for you, and this way you can feel safe. That's what this will be. And I'm also gonna probably put my laptop in here. Nice. Some PS moments is I didn't pack my charger yet that I will need for my insulin pump, since it runs off of a charger. That's really important. I also will need some form of a USB port to charge that, and luckily those are very common ports to charge your device with. However, if you do need some form of a converter, make sure you're bringing that. I also just reminded that I will need a converter as well, because, you know, even though it's a USB port, that's pretty universal, but the plug to take your universal port into a wall plug definitely varies, especially from where we're going, from the United States to the UK. We're going to be needing a converter for that type of plug. So I'll let you go. I hope this video was helpful, and have fun wherever you'll be traveling. Good luck, keep your blood sugars in range, and remember that it is okay to have days where it's a bit of a roller coaster. That's just life with diabetes. Give yourself some grace, walk it off, give some extra insulin. Make sure that you are open and sharing how you're feeling about your medical condition when you're traveling with friends or family, because it is definitely something that can bring on a bit more stress than other people might realize. It's important to vocalize what you're going through, and if you need to rest, just always try and be prepared at the beginning of the morning before you head out the door. Take just a few extra minutes to think about everything that you have so you won't run into any scary emergencies while you're out. Other than that, I hope you found this helpful. I will see you in the next video. I hope you're having a great sugar day. Mine's are okay. Let's see, I started at 189. I gave a correction. 192. Okay. Well, that's a real life diabetes moment for us, isn't it? Good. Okay. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye. Along with that, I'm also going to bring along with my glucose meter, I'm going to